Imagine living in the greatest empire the world had ever seen. Massive roads connect continents. Powerful legions guard the borders. The city of Rome itself is known as the Eternal City. For centuries, no enemy had dared to conquer it. But then, everything changed. By the year 476 AD, the once mighty Western Roman Empire collapsed. The emperor was gone, the army had fallen apart, and new kingdoms ruled the former Roman lands. So what happened? Did Rome simply collapse from the inside, or did invading barbarians destroy it? In this video, we're going to explore how groups known as barbarians slowly dismantled one of the greatest empires in history. The word barbarian was used by Romans to describe people who were not part of Roman culture. These groups lived mostly in northern and eastern Europe. Some of the most powerful tribes included the Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Vandals, and Franks. Despite the name barbarian, many of these people were skilled warriors, farmers, and traders. In fact, Rome often recruited them to serve in its army. For a long time, these tribes lived near Roman borders peacefully, but everything began to change in the late 4th century. Around the late 300s AD, a powerful nomadic group called the Huns swept into Europe. Their sudden arrival caused panic across the continent. As the Huns moved westward, they pushed other tribes directly toward Roman territory. One of these groups was the Visigoths. Desperate for safety, the Visigoths asked Rome for permission to cross the Danube River and settle inside the empire. Rome agreed, but Roman officials treated them terribly, taking their food, abusing their people, and forcing them into poverty. Eventually, the Visigoths rebelled. This rebellion led to one of the most shocking defeats in Roman history, the Battle of Adrianople. The Roman army was crushed, and Emperor Valens was killed. For the first time in centuries, Rome realized its borders were no longer secure. Just a few decades later, something unthinkable happened. In 410 AD, the Alaric I led his warriors straight into Rome itself. This event became known as the Sack of Rome 410. For 3 days, Visigoth soldiers looted the city. Although Rome wasn't completely destroyed, the psychological impact was massive. For nearly 800 years, Rome had not fallen to a foreign enemy. Now the Eternal City had been humiliated. Across the empire, people began to question whether Rome could still protect them. After the sack of Rome, more barbarian groups began carving out their own territories. The Vandals crossed into North Africa and captured one of Rome's most important provinces. North Africa had been Rome's main grain supply. Losing it meant serious economic trouble. In 455 AD, the Vandals even sailed to Italy and attacked Rome again during the sack of Rome 455. Meanwhile, other tribes were establishing kingdoms across Europe. The Franks took control of Gaul, which is modern-day France. The Angles and Saxons settled in Britain. Little by little, Roman authority in the West disappeared. By the mid-400s, the Western Roman Empire was barely functioning. The army relied heavily on barbarian soldiers. Political chaos and weak leadership made things even worse. Then, in 476 AD, a Germanic military leader named Odoacer revolted. He overthrew the young emperor Romulus Augustulus. Instead of crowning himself emperor, Odoacer declared himself king of Italy. This moment is traditionally considered the end of the Western Roman Empire. Even though the Western Empire collapsed, the eastern half survived. This eastern state is known today as the Byzantine Empire, with its capital in Constantinople. The Byzantine Empire continued Roman traditions and survived for almost 1,000 more years. So, did barbarians really destroy Rome? The answer is both yes and no. Barbarian invasions certainly played a major role, but Rome was already weakened by political instability, economic problems, and military struggles. In the end, the fall of Rome wasn't caused by one single event. It was the result of centuries of pressure until the empire finally collapsed. And from its ruins, a new medieval world began to rise.